never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
And you know, cover a few different articles that are out in the paranormal news world today. Basically, you know, this is our final run in Florida. I am going to be going to Savannah in Georgia on the 17th, right before Christmas. I also got another trip out to the Gulf Coast, probably Yankeetown or the Cedar Key area. I mean, there's a lot of different areas to visit. You know, but we got a lot of different things we're covering. I got a private investigation I'm going to be doing sometime in a few weeks as well. I'm not going to post that until it's finally done and up on the site. Just a lot of different projects, getting ready to move on out west, relocate. We've already got some people who are interested in joining our team. Of course, it's a whole different breed out there. You know, you have people that want to hike, that do not mind the animals, the mountains, spelunking in caves, going to ghost towns of the Old West, or, you know, adventuring out there to get a UFO story. And that's what a good paranormal investigator is about. It's not about, does he trespass, does he sneak into places? That has nothing to do with the evidence that's collected. It really does not. A good paranormal investigator is a paranormal investigator who will go out and get the story, not someone who's an ass kisser. You know, I don't like to sound like I'm putting down other groups, but I'll tell you what, you know, when we were in Buffalo, New York, there was no other groups. And then a few people got pissed off because they didn't like the way things were run, and they started forming their own groups. Problem is that all the places that we had been, they started going to also. It's just, you know, it just goes up to, you know, bringing up the conversation of, like on our radio show, is it okay to go to haunted places other groups have? Well, yeah, naturally it is. But to be a copycat, to have no originality, you're just another amateur ghost group out there. You know, you don't have your own traditions. You're doing what everybody else is doing, and that's not going to produce results. People get UFOs, alien photos, Bigfoot photos because they're willing to go out on the limb. You know, some guy driving down the road sees Bigfoot hop the guardrail, he chases Bigfoot down and grabs his video camera. Well, he's not supposed to be past that guardrail, but he is because he's trying to get proof of its existence. There's good paranormal investigators, there's common sense, and there's bad paranormal investigators. You know, I've been doing this for years, I'll tell you, and I kind of sit back and I laugh at all these other groups that kind of question me, and, you know, I really hate to say it, but I'm a lot more clever than what people think. You know, they think because you got green hair or, you know, that you toke up, that you're just a lousy paranormal investigator. And, you know, I have to say that it's the leaders out there like myself that are making a difference in the paranormal world. And it's not just leaders, you know, paranormal leaders, leaders in general, that people that take charge and are not afraid to go out there and stand by what they do. You know, you could spend your whole life being a paranormal investigator, spend 20 years, you know, you can sit there and do all kinds of residential homes, but it's really not going to produce you the results of actually going out there, seeing the sights, doing what you got to do, and that's, you know, that's all it boils down to. I'm one of these guys that's not afraid to be me. You know, I'll never change my ways. I'm not going to change because some group doesn't like who I am or whatever. But, you know, I must say I give kudos to Paranormal Interest Radio. They have a very professional show. I would not say it's the most professional. You know, unfortunately, I don't think a show should have 3, 4, or 5 hosts hosting it at the same time, trying to pull me in different directions. I don't think that's proper. I don't think that anybody should be put under a microscope. I don't think they should be lectured. I don't think they should be judged. I think that, you know, when you go on a radio show, I think people should ask questions. And, of course, you know, there's nothing wrong with good paranormal debate. But there's also got to be positive interest, positive talk. Not everything can be controversial that's going on within the interview. And I felt like, almost like they tried to scrutinize me, you know. I felt like it was pre-planned. A lot of my fans had contacted me and members. They actually felt the same way. They felt like I was just being plagiarized, like I was being nailed the Bible about what's right and what's wrong. And you know, there is no right and there is no wrong way to go about it. My theory is, if you're not vandalizing, you're not hurting nothing, by all means go and do it. And, you know, a lot of people just aren't aware of the Native American history. They're not aware that we came to this country based on freedom. You know, you traveled these wagon roads, you saw a piece of land you wanted, you grabbed a piece of land, you built a house on it. Unfortunately, all the Indians, a lot of them were killed, women were raped, children's throats were slit, they were massacred. It wasn't just the Spaniards doing it, it was us. And we created a government, we took this land, we built this land, we said, hey, these woods belong to us. No, they don't. These woods belong to the Indians, these woods belong to Sasquatch. And it's people like me who go out there and we appreciate it, we find it, and we bring it to the world. And of course it's going to stay covered up until some guy like me goes out there and we nab that story. And a good editor and a good person for the press doesn't care about losing his job. He does what it takes to get the story as long as nobody gets hurt. And he puts his ass on the line. Just like me as a paranormal investigator, it's my choice to put my ass on the line for my fans. And that's what I bring to my society, to the paranormal community. So anyways, you know, I went ahead and I did the show. I do interviews basically to get the word out there. You know, I don't care if people listen in or they don't like me or whatever the case is, because, you know, honestly, I've been doing this for a very long time, and when you do 700 plus investigations, you know, nobody can laugh at you. They can sit there and judge and say, well, you did this and you did that, but, you know, the truth is, we did the investigations. I was there. part of the reason I seen a ghost a couple weeks ago is because I was there. I was at the cemetery, and I have a right to be there. People claiming ownership on everything. Society has become so materialistic. Society, has forgot about the important things. Building a campfire and camping out in the woods. Being able to tour a cemetery at night and not have to worry about what the town says. Hey, the town says it's wrong. Don't be there at night. No. It should not work right like that. People are forgetting the Native American heritage, the freedom of the land, the freedom of exploring. And I hate to say it, but I have more and more respect for urban explorers, because these guys, basically are much like the same of what I'm doing. I just mix it up a little bit and combine everything together. But these guys go out there because they can do it, because they value these places. And that's how I am too. I value the historical background, and on the radio show they were talking about how Bachelor's Grove needs to be let go and not visited, and all these other things. And I sat there and I did that on purpose to make a point, because they're asking me how it upsets me when other people go to these places, or how it affects me, or whatever the case was. And that's how I feel. Some places need to be let go. We go to these places so other people don't have to risk it and take a chance and go. If I know that there's some creature in the woods that's eating people, I don't want anybody to get hurt. And then, you get some amateur who goes out there and tries to be like you, and it's like, leave the creature alone, leave that area alone. Of course, we put it up on our site so you can learn about it, and if you decide to go to these places and you take the risk, we're not at fault. You're at fault for taking the risk. But my point was that, he's just like, leave Bachelor's Grove alone. Well, that's my point. Leave the places that I go alone. And that's my whole point. Some places are Indian burial grounds. And we go to these places, we're in and out, we don't stay a long time at some of them. We respect them. We visit them, I feel out the energies, I do my thing, I take my readings, and we go. We don't put them on the site and give out where they are, because we don't want people to vandalize them. We don't want them visited. But if they do decide to visit them, I do hope that it's a learning experience for them. But the show was about 3 hours long. I felt it was a pretty good show. But like I said, I also felt like the host comments about me being responsible for my friend's death very much upset me. These people have no respect for paranormal investigators like me. What people fail to realize is that you have no control over a drunk driver that hits your vehicle. You have no control over a drunk driver that hits you walking to the cemetery. Life is short. And one day, some of you are going to die from heart attacks, from cancer, maybe even the apocalypse. You might get in your car to go to work, and you might die tomorrow. That's a reality. You do what you got to do, and you do your best, and you do what you can. And as a paranormal investigator, I do what I can to see as many sites as possible. That all goes with the risk factor. Some are willing to take it, some aren't. I'm a psychic, I'm an empath, I read situations very well. I can tell you if there's danger before it happens. My investigators learn to trust my abilities, and even as a human being, sometimes we make mistakes. But again, you cannot control certain factors. You cannot control an alligator just coming across the trail and grabbing your leg. You can't control things like that. But if you don't put yourself out, you're not going to seek the truth. And that is what I bring to my Paranormal and Ghost Society members. I'm out there to get the truth. Roswell will never be uncovered unless people go out there and dig up that ground and find UFO parts and bring them to a college to be analyzed and showed in front of the world. That's what it comes down to. Another thing that kind of upset me is that I had some fans and some members try to call in because they had some positive things to say to me on the show. Those people did not get through. I do not know if the lines were busy or they were not put through on purpose. I noticed that every question I had was a negative person or someone who actually disliked me or hated me or has criticized me in the past. And I think it's funny. You know, it's like as much as I do for the paranormal community, you know, the advertising of articles, the advertising for other groups, doing ally investigations, helping people with their problems when they email me, their paranormal problems, going out and putting information on our site like history. You know, it's like a lot of these places, these authors would have nothing to write about if it wasn't for guys like me. And who do you think's making the money? The TV producers, the authors, TAPS. And speaking of TAPS, we don't hate TAPS. Okay? TAPS, it's more like we don't like the Sci-Fi Network. Because I wrote the Sci-Fi Network, and I told the Sci-Fi Network, I said, hey, I want this TV show done. Because that's what I am. I'm a very professional man at times. And I got good ideas, and I can put those ideas on TV or on a radio show or whatever the case is. And I wrote them, and they gave it to somebody else, and then it turns around, you know, when TAPS goes to 3 places I've been, and how many thousands of haunted places are in the country, don't just jump on the bandwagon. And that's my whole point. If I was on Sci-Fi, I would love for people to come down hard on me because I'm on Sci-Fi. But I'll tell you something. Entertainment is all about hyping it up for the audience. And it's nothing more and nothing less. And it's okay to make money being on television. There's nothing wrong with making money for the entertainment or whatever the case is. However, you know, these radio shows that are in love with TAPS or whatever the case was, they need to understand my point of view. I don't have to like a certain group. I don't have to like the Sci-Fi Network. I don't have to watch paranormal television shows. I live a paranormal life. I see ghosts. I see UFOs. I find Bigfoot tracks. I get chased by things in the woods and whatever. Danger's part of life. And you haven't lived life till you face a little danger. And that's what makes you stronger. Learning how to survive. How will some of you survive the apocalypse if you can't even survive in the damn woods? You know, that's the whole thing, is that there's a lot to be learned off of me, and a lot of people take me for granted. They take the show for granted, they take our Paranormal Ghost Society for granted, they just don't understand. You know, you can sit there and you can criticize me, but I'm not allowed to criticize TAPS. I'm not allowed to criticize certain authors. It's not okay. It's not acceptable. Why? Because my hair's pink? And then, you know, you go on the radio show site, and they got pictures up of me kissing my ex-girlfriend. Pictures of vandalism that says Lord Rick rules that wasn't even done by our group. I mean, how rude can you possibly get? None of the pictures taken from our investigations, like me standing in front of a grave. And that's the shit that pisses me off. And you know, part of owning a radio show and having guests on it is those guests are going to promote you if you treat them good. But I'm not going to go around promoting other shows and TV networks if they're not going to treat me with respect. Respect is a two-way street. Being in this field as long as I've been in it, that's what the paranormal is about. It's about respect, you know. You're not being disrespectful going on state property and hiking in the woods. Who are you disrespecting? You disrespecting the state? Who is the state? It's not one man. You know, people don't understand our dark history to this country. They don't understand what really happened to the Indians. They don't get it. And it's like the Kanzua Dam area. It's one of the most haunted and weirdest areas I've ever been in the country. It's up in Pennsylvania. It's weird. It's spooky. And that land was given by, actually the Indians had owned it. The government took it, and George Washington said, no, this land belongs to the Native American people. And what do? We took it away, we built a dam, we ruined the burial grounds, we kicked the Indians off their land. We took it. And that land's cursed. And that land curses the white man. When the white man walks through that area, people die, people disappear up in those woods. And that just brings my point to that I work with a lot of Indian spirits. They want me there. They want me to investigate them because they understand the spiritual meaning between them and me. Then we're going to go on about how, you know, they talk about being impaired on investigations. I'm not impaired. I'll tell you right now, I haven't smoked on an investigation in quite a few months. If you count Disney World, well, forget it. I was there all day on the rides, eating hot dogs and drinking beer and everything else. I'm there to have a good time. It's Disney World. I'm a pretty much straight shooter type of guy. You know, I have to be strong on my investigations. I can't go ripped. I can't go stumbling. You know, everybody's body is different. But you know, I just kind of laugh about how human beings, you know, they think that because you're a paranormal investigator, you need to be a saint, you need to be a priest, you need to be all religious, and that is not true. Okay, because see, meanwhile, while I'm busy trespassing in abandoned places, these people are committing other sins. They're out there, they're drinking and they're driving, and aside from their paranormal group, they're doing this and that. And why? Because nobody knows about it. But I put myself out there because I try to be the realest founder and one of the best founders in the paranormal community. And I think I still am. But anyways, you know, the radio show was very professional. It was 203 minutes long. I heard from a few friends that a lot of people said some nasty things about me in the chat room. So obviously, you know, it's quite obvious that it was all pre-planned. You don't just walk into a place and then people start bad-mouthing you. People usually are more inquisitive, but that's, you know, not the case. But it doesn't matter, because we have people working very hard, members and such, and we're going to be putting ourselves out there very soon. We got a lot of different projects going on out west, and that's all it is. You know, it's a matter of, if I get to go see a place, climb a mountain, it's glorifying for me. You know, and my members get to enjoy the journey. They get to see the pictures, and that's the main thing. We were there. If I see Bigfoot, I'll tell you I seen Bigfoot. But if I don't see Bigfoot in the woods, you know, I'll let you know in my report, we did not see Bigfoot. Because that's the way I am. I'm an honest paranormal investigator. I'd like to promote also my friend Mike Digital from Digital Photography. He runs an urban exploring group. It's, in my opinion, I think it's one of the best in the country. He has helped me with the YouTube very much, and you know, and that's all it's really about. We want to go out there, we want to promote other people, and they want to, you know, promote us. If I got a team of investigators who stuck by me, or people who stuck by me, I'm going to give them a position on the television show. I'm not going to turn around and give a bunch of people who judge me or lecture me it, because people just, they don't understand. We're not saints. We're paranormal investigators. You got to be crazy to work with ghosts. You got to be crazy. If you're not crazy, you shouldn't be in the business. That's just my opinion of things. And then, you know, of course, the show goes on to discuss our equipment guide. And you know what people got to understand? When I first started my organization, a lot of them pages are 5-6 years old. They haven't been updated. I haven't had time. I haven't really looked at it because I could care less. Because that equipment page means nothing. It's not our society. It's just, here's a few pieces of equipment and the story. Doesn't mean we carry bolt cutters. Doesn't mean none of it. Because honestly, you can't even afford bolt cutters, let alone gas to go travel. But, you know, the reality is we live in a society that is all about money and materials. And, you know, equipment, gas to travel, all those things are very much important for us to do our work. You know, we're not a high-tech group. We'll never be a high-tech group. We will use it on occasion, some high-tech equipment. That's why we got a gearman, sometimes a gearman position, because the gearman's responsible for the more high-tech equipment. And a lot of people like that position. It's a position I like. I just can't take on everything all myself. But, you know, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've seen man's jealousy get a hold of him. You know, they run a group, they've only done 10 investigations, and we've done 700, and it pisses them off. It pisses them off because they're like, well, you trespass. Well, you know, too bad. That's my choice. You know, it's not anybody else's. And all these people that have all these rules and strictness, they need to lighten up, man. Because your life's work is almost for nothing. All right, because and I hate to, you know, offend people, but the truth is you spend 30 years in the paranormal field and you're still going to have questions. However, would you prefer to die knowing the existence of aliens is true, or would you rather die not knowing? I think that's worth risking your life over. And some people don't feel that way. Some people don't want to know. And that's all it comes down to, is some of these people are going and doing this because eventually they want to make money at it. And that's why they won't trespass. That's why they wear a tux on their investigations. And that's why they do the things they do, because they're out to make money. You know, and me, I can care less. I'm going out there to have fun. I'm going out there to share my knowledge. And that just shows, I mean, you can sit there and I just turn the whole thing around. And it gives people something to think about. You know, you got some group that doesn't want to take no chances. What's that tell you about the passion they have for the paranormal? You know, we're not busting in Farmer John's garage. We're not in his garage. We're not in his abandoned farm. We're going to places that are pretty remote. Ghost towns. Places that aren't even owned by anybody. Just falling apart. Asylums that are about to be demolished. There is no sin in it. There's only sin because society has taught you this way. But that was not taught 200 years ago. Therefore, do you believe in the old ways, or do you believe that because they tell you you need to do this and that, you're going to listen? It's just like medicinal marijuana. I know somebody who has a license to grow it legally. Does that make them a drug addict because they take medicinal marijuana? Seriously. I mean, it's your right to do what you want with your body. The government tries to tell you what to do. The government might even take alcohol away in the future. And if they do, you're going to stop drinking a ice cold beer because the government says you can't drink it? Think about it. Government says you can't go in a cemetery at night. So you ask permission from 10 people and only one lets you in. Why listen to human beings that are full of mistakes and errors? Because human beings are the ones that make the laws. They make the laws in the ways they see fit because they don't believe. They don't want to believe. But technically, as long as you are not hurting anything, it's free game. You know, I'm not going in someone's house, ransacking their house. I'm not sitting there jumping in some wife's bed in the middle of my investigation. I'm going out to places, remote places, to bring stories on the paranormal, and I deserve nothing but respect. Nothing but respect in this field. I got an infection last year. I almost died. One time I fell off a cliff, almost was hanging on. Another time I fell 9 feet. I've done a lot of dangerous things, but it's my choice, and people should be very respect me in that aspect. That I'm somebody that has been there, done it, and I could take a guide through the tropical rainforest, or I could be a guide rather, and take a group of people probably pretty safely. It's because of all the hardships I've faced. As a paranormal investigator, I have gained a lot of knowledge, but I put myself out there because if the apocalypse comes, it's going to come on strong, and I do think it's in the future. If you've read a recent article, they're supposed to be in December, I think, of 2008. 3 comets visible in the sky, and they're not even sure. There might even be more comets, and they're talking about comets colliding and comets coming close to Earth, maybe even comets hitting Earth. Some people say doomsday. This is space. This is a universe. Comet hits here and wipes us out. We're nothing. You and I are the same. We're all spirits past our physical form. And none of it matters. Laws, none of that shit matters. Because when you're dead, you're dead. But if you're a ghost or whatever, or your energy transpires further in the afterlife, that's fine. But we're all the same in general. Some people choose to be a little bit less the same, and they try to make a difference. I'm one of those guys that goes out there and I make a difference. My show, not as fancy. It's just me talking to my members. But there are members who listen in. There are members who ask for copies of this show. There are people who are listening to it on YouTube. We're getting ourselves out there. And it's mainly the same listeners and the same fans, and that's fine. It puts a smile on their face, and that's all that matters. And even people who don't like me will listen in on this, because they'll listen to what I got to say. And the reason why is I give it like it is. And that's the whole life and whole thing of motto, being an honest paranormal investigator. we capture a lot of phenomena, ectoplasm, orbs, and it's my choice to put it up. It doesn't necessarily mean it's real. It's speculation and theories is what counts in life. And all these groups got their own tradition, and they try to push those traditions on other groups, and that's just not right. We're not gonna ally with TAPS and become TAPS friendly and start our own chapter. We're our own organization. We're our own group. We got our own radio show, a sports team, band promotions. We've got a lot of different things going on. I've had 2 authors contact me this month, and I'm going to sell their books for them. I'm going to put buy buttons on my site. I'm going to sell their books. People are going to buy their books because these are good authors that are putting me in their books. They want me in their books. They liked my work. And that's what people need to understand. My work is very solid, very good. It doesn't matter whether I got a water collectible or I'm toking up some herb, and there's many legal herbs. People don't even consider that. It's like aside from the illegal herbs, what about the legal herbs that people smoke, like various Indian people will smoke a lot of legal herbs, like blueberry, for example. You can buy that on the internet. Does that make them a bad person? Because, see, that's what people are trying to do. They're trying to take the Paranormal Ghost Society and they're trying to say it's a bad organization. And the thing is that we've been around a long time. Most paranormal groups that are doing something bad or wrong do not last. They end up arrested, broken arms, this and that. When our investigator had perished, we were a pretty new society. And kudos to me for keeping going, to keep going. And then when you face scrutiny, you go on a radio show and you get all these hosts asking you questions all at the same time, and you get people calling in and being all negative. It's like it's not supposed to be like this. And I'm not going to promote any radio show that's going to act this way. And I seriously consider they should take my advice since they're very good at giving it. But I just think the way people are in today's society is everybody's paranoid, everybody's concerned about this, everything's a review. Nowadays, everything's a review. It doesn't matter how you look at it. You do something nice where you pay for the site so people can enjoy your pictures. People turn around, they start putting you under the microscope. They want to know your talents, your abilities, your powers. I'm a very powerful man. And people laugh, but I have a lot of abilities. I can sit there and I can tell you if something dangerous is going to happen. I can tell you if I don't feel right. I can tell you if there's a ghost in a certain area. There's a lot of things that I can do. But I'm not out there to sit there and brag about my abilities. I basically am traveling and spending money out of my pocket so that other people can enjoy what our paranormal community has to offer. We're not getting paid for this. We're all about, like I said, promoting and sponsoring other groups. You put me on the radio program, I put a link back. People are going to listen to your show. And you're not going to get a couple people listening. You're going to get thousands in the next few years. And that's what people got to look at, is the whole big picture to this all. But, if you don't treat me nice as a founder, my organization's not going to treat you nice. And it's just that simple, And we had some guy, who was not so nice. He joined our forum about a week ago, and the whole thing is that he does ghost tours. He doesn't carry any paranormal equipment. He got really mad that I asked for donations and made out a Christmas wish, and it was just a really horrible situation. Because the thing is that this guy, he's in Florida. And he sits on he was lurking on my forum for over a year, and he says, I use a cell phone as my computer, and I'm just here for one thing, the ghost. It's like, we're not just a ghost group. We do cryptozoology and ufology and different investigations. We look into all kinds of different phenomena. Fortune phenomena, too, where, there's odd things going on that just they're out of place. And people don't understand, but, he sits there on the list, and he blows up because we ask for donations or we have a Christmas wish. It's like, if I wasn't doing my job, I would not be asking for nothing. But it's my job to do my job. In other words, I sat there and I asked for donation, and and it seemed to have offended him personally. And I laugh at people like this because it's like, I don't do drama. That's the whole thing. I'm not going to do drama. This is a fun thing that we do. And you get some guy who sits on your forum, never posts a thing for a year, and then all of a sudden he blows up. He's like, we do this, we do that. It's like, yeah, you're running ghost tours from places we visited, and you're making money, and you're not looking at the whole big picture. That if you buy a T-shirt, don't drink and drive T-shirt, some proceeds go to man. I'm a very strong advocate against drunk driving, and our site has reached thousands because of it. We do good things for people, and there's a lot of people who just aren't getting the whole big picture. But the guy just, he doesn't use equipment. They do ghost tours, and they're not respecting our traditions that we use equipment. That upset him for one, because he's like, you don't need no equipment. But the evidence is very important. You've got to be able to at least take pictures of these places to show you were there, to show what they look like, and to share a report on anything that's occurred, or any evidence that is gathered from the investigation itself. So, it's just incredibly ridiculous how, his girlfriend wrote me wanting haunted places. I didn't give them to her, and then all of a sudden he turns around and blows up on my forum. And it's all people ever want. It's funny how they're nice to you when they want something, but then when somebody does not, they'll treat you like yesterday's crap, and they'll flush you down the toilet. And that's the way human nature works. That's how this country was built, is that people came here and just did not care. And at one time, maybe people did care. There was a time where there was peace in this country. There was a time where the Constitution was very simple. And it was the simple things. Don't kill, don't steal. And now, it's law after law. And I'm a big conspiracy advocate. I don't like conspiracies. I don't like lies. I think if Roswell happened, I don't think it should be covered up. I think it should be announced. I think those finds should be shared with the entire world. We have a right to know. And because people lie about it, guys like me that got to go in, we got to find the truth. We have to find the truth. You look at the Patterson Bigfoot footage. Everybody knows, wants to believe so bad it's real. The sad thing is, more than likely, it probably is not real. And I don't have the information, but I sent out on my old group before it was deleted a lot of information of why it could be faked, why it is fake, why the footage is not real. And it hurts some people's feelings. People got to face reality. Bigfoot's out there. It's not going to be easy to get. You want to get Bigfoot, you're gonna have to break a few laws. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to go where they don't want you going to get him, because that's where he is. And people need to understand this. You cannot live your whole life in fear. An urban explorer can't get no urban exploring done unless he has to go in these places fearless. And a paranormal investigator cannot investigate Bigfoot unless he goes into the woods with a fearless attitude and finds what he needs, as far as looking for Bigfoot in the most remote places in the world. This is what we do. This is what we've accepted. And this is what our investigators have accepted. And, I have a 63-year-old lady who investigates for me. She doesn't bitch and moan. She doesn't complain about the woods. She doesn't complain about trespassing. We're too old for this shit. And that's just the truth. We're too old to be dealing with drama. Because we're all going to die. We're all over the hill. And that's just the truth. The chemtrails in the sky, the chemicals in the food, the poisoning, the shooting, the crime, the murder, the famine. You look at all these things and you think, hey, tomorrow I may not make it to be in those woods. So I'm going to the woods today. And I'm looking for Bigfoot, bringing Bigfoot forth to the American public. End the story. Now, we've had a lot of new features on our site recently. I have a section where I've been in books, TV shows, media, and I don't have those TV shows anymore. I never taped them. Never liked seeing myself on TV. But they did exist at one time, They were, I've done two stories for a news channel. I did one that's on a DVD, 13 Most Haunted Places. I've also done Channel 7 and Channel 2 when I was up in New York. They were both very close together. I did interviews, where they film me for an hour and maybe air me for 15 minutes. But they don't keep those on record. After 5-6 years, they're gone out of the archives, because I had a producer try to get a hold of those shows and could not do it. He made the calls, he called the news station, they said that they were sent over to their archive place said we don't keep them anymore. But I did the shows, I'm an honest guy, and I'll tell you what the shows were about. He just asked me. But we have done media things, we've done radio shows, but I run my own, so I really don't need to. But I'm more than happy to go on all the paranormal shows that are run across the internet, answer questions, talk a little bit about my work or various topics. I'm all for that. I love a good paranormal debate. I just don't like to be scrutinized as a founder, because it's the founders that are going out there working so hard, and then you get a few bad apples in the bunch who can care less. And that's all it really comes down to. And that's why we have a wall of shame, because some of these people have wronged us, and people need to be aware and understand it can happen to you. You can go out there, you risk your life every week, and about 5-6 years later, it's going to bite you in the ass, because then there's going to be people who are stealing from you, bad-mouthing you, sending you hate mails. And I'll tell you what, I've been on people's property before, and they've wrote me emails and said, I know you trespassed my property, but they're like, I understand that you weren't hurting nothing, so it's all cool, man. It's all cool. And that's the way it should be. People need to loosen up, chill out, be cool, because that's the way the paranormal works. You're cool, it's cool to you. You go in a cemetery, you act cocky, and you sit there, I got permission. You're the one that's going to end up with the demon following you home, because you're the jackass. You are the jackass. Because you can't make your own decisions. You got to go by what every other group says. And, I'm very harsh and abrasive. When it's done to me, I'm the same way. But I'm not really criticizing the radio show. I think that's just criticizing the human in nature as to how ignorant they are towards the paranormal and other people's methods. And, if it wasn't for great scientists like Nikola Tesla, this world would be in a lot of trouble. It really would. Those guys went out, and those are the type of guys like Einstein, they took risks. They took risk in their work, and they succeeded. And that is what I bring to the public, is I'm willing to take a few risks. And I'm risking myself. I'm not risking anybody else. If people stand by my side and say, Rick, I know I could die out there, but they come along, that's by their choice. It wasn't because they were forced on our investigations. But we work hard at what we do. Very proud of what I do. I'm a very proud founder. I think I'm very disappointed in a lot of human beings, because I see a lot of human beings are not good-natured. I think that, when you have a wealth of information online, it should get one thing, and that's one thing only: respect. There shouldn't be no controversy. There shouldn't be a review. This is not Eat at Joe's Restaurant or anything like that. You want to talk about Thunderbirds, we talk about Thunderbirds. You want to talk about Bigfoot, we'll talk about Bigfoot. But I'm not up for discussion. And, I'll take any question, but there's a such thing as overwhelming a guy, too. And, unfortunately, some people just don't have pure intent. Yeah, they think that, they do everything legally by the book and legitimate, but they think it's okay to be negative towards another person. And that's where I try to come across it. I try to install in some people what's right and what's wrong as far as treating other human beings. And I'll tell you what, I treat my members, I treat my investigators very good. I send out articles every day for them to read. It's a lot of work. I hate doing it because it hurts my back. What makes me like doing it is it puts a smile on people's faces. But, we got a hell of a month coming up. I got a trip out to Savannah. I got a trip out on the Gulf Coast. I got a trip out to Central Florida. Got another trip in Southern Florida, probably. It's just, I got a very busy month. I'm in the middle of packing. I got a lot going on. And, that's a commendable thing. To be able to sit there and pack up your house, have time for your kids, and run a paranormal group for, full-time and be able to take 3 to 4 trips within a month around Christmas time, this is something that should be very respected, and it should be honored, it should be cherished. To have a founder or an organization that sits there and does this religiously. And unfortunately, I think as time goes on, paranormal groups receive more and more heat. I think most of them are all trying to be like taps. They're all sitting there trying to be professional. And it's like, if you're acting all professional, then you're out to make money. You're treating this like a business, and this is not a business. This is research. You should have fun doing it. And then we got the Gowanna expedition. Them guys broke their thumbs. Them guys were looking for the anaconda. Them guys were out in the rainforest looking for the giant anaconda. A lot of dangers. There's crocodiles. There's things that can eat you out there. The guys knew the risk involved. Them guys have a right to do a TV show about it now, and they have a right to put out a book. They traversed and they took a chance, and they went out there and they looked for the giant anaconda. And that's pretty much what we have a right to do. We have a right to look for these things. Nobody should sit there and tell us right from wrong. Who are they to judge? So it's okay that, this country was built on killing the Native American people, stealing their land. That's okay. That was their land, right? But now it's our land, and paranormal investigators can't traverse on it. It's like, come on. It's like you stole this land from the Indians. It wasn't even owned by you. You just came here, and your ancestors built on it, took it, and said, this is my land. I own this forest. You ain't coming in it. No, it doesn't work that way. Just because something's set in stone by law does not mean you have to follow it. It does not make you a bad person. It just makes you be a go-getter and do what you got to do to get the story. And that's a good paranormal investigator. So now you got a little bit more insight about how I run this organization and how I do things. And, hopefully a lot of people will listen to this and understand that if you got a paranormal organization, like I said, that's acting all professional, it doesn't matter. Chances are they're professional, and they're also making a lot of money. And they may not say it. They may say, well, we expend a lot of money, but they're getting in money. They're getting in pretty big donations, sometimes $1,000 a month. That's more than enough for equipment. $1,000 for me would be enough for me to take a couple out-of-state trips somewhere special, probably even Europe. I could probably go to England on that, and I could investigate castles for a week. $1,000 donation for me, I could replace all my equipment, still probably go out of the country and check something out. But $1,000 for another group, they're going to sit there and they're going to buy toys, they're going to buy gadgets with it, things that really aren't necessary. Because you don't need all these great gadgets for ghosts. You don't need all these digital cameras that have these built-in things and all that. It's like, what are you going to use it for? You just need a camera that captures the ghost. You don't need anything too high-tech. And it's all fun for these people. And they're going out there and they're receiving a lot of donations, because they're like, we're going to donate because you're professional. It's like now you're getting into the whole business aspect of the paranormal field. You're not sitting there anymore just saying, hey, they're a paranormal research group. They go out with their friends. They go check out places. They bring back stories. They're doing this. They're risking themselves because they're not out to make money. And that's where I come in. It's like you can, once a person told me years ago, I told all my members, he said, and I don't talk to the guy no more, but back then he was very right. He said, Lord Rick's the real deal. About as real as possible as you're going to get. So there's no hidden angles, there's no hidden agendas. I'm not going to sit there and ask Kiss to get a TV show. I'm not going to sit there and wear a suit in the cemetery. I'm not going to sit there and ask permission just so I can get on television. If I get a TV producer who's interested in me, it's their job to get permission to go into these places. They have administration that handles that. They have a crew that gets the permission. I know because I talk to TV producers. But the point is, we are who we are. I'm not going to stop token 420 just because someone doesn't like it. I'm not. My disclaimer on my site, like that guy pointed out, it's maybe the Privacy Act did not get signed, but nonetheless, if man can make his own laws, then I can make my own laws. There is nothing wrong with being treated or wanting to be an equal. And that's how I feel. If man can sit there and tell me you can't toke up, then maybe I should tell man you can't enter my site. And that's all it really comes down to. It's not craziness. It's common sense. And a lot of people out there in this field lack it. And they sit there and they don't put certain photos on their site because, they don't believe in it. Well, that's fine. It's your site. You do what you want with it. But when it comes to our site, this is how we do things. I was thinking about opening up a radio show on Now Live because I do like their setup, but it's a very hard commitment. I do actually have a new piece of equipment, so I'm sure this radio show sounds a lot better. I actually had gotten a really good microphone, so I'm a little more clear and concise, which should help get us more viewers and such. But, we don't want to get all high-tech. The purpose of my radio show is basically to talk about things, and, people will agree with me. They will listen to this, and they will see where I'm coming from. Because as a founder, I should be able to talk with my voice and be heard by the people, whether they like me or they don't like me. But I'm a man with experience under my belt, and I have experience. I'm strong in all areas. I know how to survive out in the woods. I camp. I do Bigfoot expeditions. I'm not an infant. I don't need diapers. And there's a lot of people that would investigate for me, and they gladly would take the risk because they trust me. Because I'm not going to get them in trouble. They're not going to be shot at. There's not going to be drama. That's not what we do. We don't do drama. Hiking in the woods for 3 hours where man hasn't set foot in 2 years is not causing anybody any harm or any drama. And that's the end of it. I'm tired of the scrutiny as a paranormal founder. People can keep giving it, but, trust me on this. I can scrutinize you, too. I can sit there and say maybe that you're too scared to do a high volume of places. Maybe I could call you and say, hey, you're not a real paranormal investigator because you won't go out there and nab the story. You think the government's going to give you permission to go on an area that's known for UFOs and Bigfoot? They'll tell you no. That's the whole thing. They're the ones that are hiding it. You cannot listen to somebody that's lying to you. You know they're lying, and that's the end of the story. My friends had many times gotten fined for being on Area 51. I'll tell you what, my friend said, back when I was in Vegas, he said, why I go to Area 51? Because I go to see UFOs. They're like, I know they exist, and I know the risks I take. And they've been escorted off the property many times. Those guys weren't paranormal investigators. Those were guys that wanted the truth. And that's what I am. I'm a guy that wants the truth. And that is why I do this, and that is why I care about my work. And I am very passionate in my work. I got a heart of gold. I care a lot about certain members of my group, like family. Unfortunately, you can't beat corruption, and that's the whole thing. And there's a lot of people out there who just are so out to get us. And what can my members or me say? Because that tune's never going to change with certain people. Paranormal groups, there's a lot of them out there who are jealous. It could be jealous over anything. Well, you toke up, we don't do that kind of stuff. Well, that's nice. That's nice. What you tell them? Be jealous. That's how we are as a paranormal group. We try to do things differently than everybody else. And, we visit a lot of sites, go to a lot of places. I wouldn't pass it up for the world. I love what I do. What I do means the world to me. There's all kinds of personal goals you have. Climb a mountain, you have every right to boast. You see Bigfoot, you have every right to brag about it. And I commend anybody who achieves those things. Just like I said, the Gowanna expedition, them guys spent days in the rainforest, a weekend hiking along. The work that's involved in that, the sore feet, the sore hands, oh my God. And you sit there and you look at me, sometimes I spend 3-4 days, like when I went to the Pine Barrens. people don't mention that on how I hiked for 4 days looking for the Jersey Devil. See, because all human beings can do. Generally, most human beings can only focus on negative things. Everything is a review, and they act like they're hurting me, you know, like they're going to prevent me from my goals. And it's like, you're not going to prevent me. Because I am a founder that has stuck to my goals for years. I've achieved almost all my goals. Actually, I've achieved them all. I've been on TV. I'm in books. I'm on the cover of a music CD. You know, and people need to understand, you know, I've done over 700 investigations. I've achieved a lot of my goals. I've captured every type of paranormal phenomenon, almost. I don't have Bigfoot on film, you know, and it really doesn't matter to me, because sometimes it's better that way, because I don't want everybody to know where Bigfoot's located. I don't want to see the government go in and kill a Bigfoot. I love Bigfoot. I respect the creature. I respect the animals in the woods. I respect all things. I respect the places that I go. And that's all it really boils down to. Does Lord Rick respect the places that he goes, or does he do something else at these places? And the answer is very simple. I go to these places because I care about them, because I respect them. Much like an urban explorer does. Urban explorer goes to these places because he respects these places. He wants the pictures. He appreciates the history, if he's a true urban explorer. And, you know, speaking of urban explorers, you know, I'm friends with 3 different founders of urban exploring groups. And, you know, I know they don't believe in the whole ghost aspect and stuff, but those are the type of guys that, you know, you need on a team like mine. Because those are the type of guys that are willing to hike, willing to go into places and look around. It doesn't matter whether they believe. I'm there to gather paranormal evidence. They're there to explore. And there's nothing wrong with that, because, see, unlike most groups, I take people of all kinds of my group. You know, and people can laugh and say daredevils, explorers, and stuff, but, you know, the truth is that you need someone crazy who can fill those positions. You need someone who's adventurous. Because if you want to go out in the rainforest looking for a giant anaconda, you better have a group of hikers with you. People who can hike, people who are not afraid to cross a log and moving along. Because a normal Ghostbuster who goes house to house and spends time with Granny Goodhomes, sorry, but if you want to spend time with Granny Goodhomes, you do that. Because while you're spending time with Granny Goodhomes, I'm going to be the one that's out in the national forest looking at Bigfoot crossing the trail, a 12-foot creature that stinks like rotten eggs, and I'm going to go, when I die, I'm going to say, you know what? There are things on this planet that have not been discovered that exist. And mark my words, Lord Rick is going to make his mark in the paranormal history book. And see, unfortunately, you know, the thing is that our country and the rest of the world has become a world that is against one another. You got religious wars, you got war, you got murder, you got rape. I had some Santa Claus try to chase me down the other day. I mean, you know it's Christmas time when Santa Claus is in his boots and he's chasing you down the road. I got chased by a Santa Claus. You know, I get myself in all these weird situations, but I have fun doing what I do. And I don't care what the rest of the world thinks. So I can tell you right now, I am the one that holds the answer to most truths that you want answers about. Doesn't mean I'm going to tell you about it, but I hold a lot of truths that are out there. I have deep knowledge in the paranormal field. There's no doubt about that. But, you know, again, like I said, I'm not out to impress anybody. So you know I'm not making the money. But all these other groups going around, they're all doing the same protocols and the same methods. And I'm telling you, it's just, it might work for you. Yeah, sure. You know, you got the donations coming in. It's just not flaunted on your site. But you got people sitting there sending you money orders to your P.O. box and PayPal, and, you know, you're sitting there cashing in cha-ching, and you know you're pocketing some of those funds. And us, you know, you can meet me and I'll show you my paranormal equipment, and you're not going to believe how beat up my equipment is. You're not going to believe how beat up my car is. You're not going to believe how sometimes I have to make sacrifices to do these investigations. I'm a good founder, and I don't want people to forget that. And, and a lot of people just don't get the whole picture. They don't understand. But anyways, I'm going out to California very soon. I'm not going to announce the date. I'm just going to leave. I'm not going to say nothing to nobody. Because why should I? It really doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. I'm going either way. But the point is that I'm going to be doing hauntings along the Pacific coast. I'm going to be doing a lake monster. I'm going to be doing the redwood forest. I'm going to be going spelunking in caves. All kinds of weird things are in caves. There's ghosts in them. Because back then, they used to put bodies in caves. Gold miners and such. They keep them cool so they were able to bury them. But there's all kinds of Native American history out there, too, from various tribes. You got the Oregon Trail, which is supposed to be haunted. Someday I would like to go on the Oregon Trail. I don't think I'll hike it very far. I might do a couple miles, take some pictures and things. But, the thing is that out west is a whole new world. And we have people that want to investigate. We have a pregnant lady that wants to come along to the less evil places. She's willing to come along, and I can put her to use. She can stay back in the car and take EVPs. She can walk around the cemetery and take EVPs. It really doesn't matter, because I'm not prejudiced against having certain members of our organization. And, which leads me to, like I said during the interview with Paranormal First Radio, cops, government. Of course we don't want them types on our group. It's not because we're doing anything illegal, because we just don't want them types. We don't need somebody who lays down the laws. We're out there to do things free. And that's what I am. I'm a free bird. I'm a free spirit. I go out there and I enjoy my freedom. I do it because I can. And that's just the end of it, You can do it too. But, you gotta watch it for all these professional groups. Just because they're professional doesn't mean a thing. And, like I said, we're not against TAPS. I think TAPS works hard. They've been around for a long time. But I also think that a lot of things are hyped up, and it's not fair. It's not fair to people, like me, who we can't hype nothing up. We're out there in the woods. What's there to hype up? We're looking at some ghost town. That's not hyping nothing up. And these guys are getting their journey all over the world practically, and they choose a place that I go to. Like, why don't you want to? That's my whole point. And I just want people to be aware. And that's my job, because I am a paranormal news enthusiast, and I make paranormal news of all groups available. News articles, whatever the case is. We're not out to make hate sites, we're not out to stalk, we're not out to harass. We're out to make friends. That's what I'm out to do. I'm out to make friends. That's why I do this. And if somebody wants to scrutinize me because I enjoy making friends, they got something wrong with them. And that's all there is to it. We'll gladly do another show for that radio if they want us to. But I hope by then people change their tune, and I hope people are not so harsh in the chat room, because, I do have friends that tell me what is said and what's going on. It's pretty sad, that a group can say, there's that professional. And it's like, it's like we're two of the same. I'm a paranormal investigator too. It's not right. It's not right because somebody's different from the rest of everybody else to be condemned. It's not right people talk behind people's backs. None of that's right. I put it up on my site for people to see. I'm not talking about anybody behind their backs. That's the difference between me and them. But, we work very hard at what we do. We're going to continue to do what we do. I'm a paranormal investigator. I can care less if the whole world turn their back to me. Because I do this in my friend's name. I do this for my kids. I do this because I enjoy it. And there are some who believe in me for many years, and I do it for them. And what people are going to find out is that I'm a very loyal friend, and if you stick by me, you're going to be part of the success that I bring to this field. Whether you realize it or not at this moment, I'm a success. I have to be a success. I'm not sitting in jail right now. I'm not missing my leg from an alligator. I'm alive, and I'm healthy. I'm doing well, and I got 3 more out-of-town trips in Florida, and I pulled off history. I pulled off history in Florida. And I'm the guy that gets beat up, pushed the Bible at, and it's like, it's just not right. And I guess that's what makes some people less human than other people. It's, the ones that are doing the critiquing are the ones who are actually not flawless with their work. And I consider myself very flawless in my work. I don't have room to mess up. I don't have room to be careless. The only thing I am is very cautious, very clever, very experienced at what I do. And that is what a good paranormal investigator is. And, some people will choose to accept it when they ask me, what is it to be like a paranormal investigator? It's a lot of work. You face a lot of hate from people, a lot of adversity. People, it doesn't matter how much you try to make somebody happy, you can come to an investigation with bells on. You can get permission to be somewhere and you can get good evidence, and you're still going to get people that are going to put you down. Because that is human nature. And there are some people out there who, they can't go paranormal investigating. They got medical conditions. But they value what we do. Because they understand that we're willing to take the risk to do what we got to do. And that's all it boils down to. So if you'd like to listen to my podcast, I have made it available. Actually, if you go to our media page, you can click the link, Paranormal Interest Radio, and our show will be up there for, I don't know, about 60 days. I noticed that my name was not added with their thing. It didn't even say AngelOfThyNight or Lord Rick on it. Just there was nothing added with the podcast, which kind of upsets me. It's like you want to cover up the fact that I did a show with you, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Some of my members that listened in were pretty pissed off. They had contacted me, actually quite a few contacted me, and said they will not even listen to it because of that crap that they've seen going on. And that's just the truth. It's like where were my fans? Because I know some of my fans called in, because some people told me that they called in. And so, it's just you gotta wonder what's really going on. I'm not trying to create conspiracies or anything like that. I just think that some groups have it out for us, and they'll do anything they can to embarrass me and try to catch me in some mistake, or who knows what reasons, or that I'm some fraud. There's nothing fraudulent about going to haunted sites and taking pictures. It is what it is. Nothing flawless about measuring Bigfoot tracks, and you certainly can be stoned and do it at the same time, and it doesn't lessen your abilities to do those things. Society has become so judgmental that they're blinded. They're blinded by what really is reality. They want to think, they'll go out there and they'll get us some paranormal phenomena and say, this is real. But in my opinion, I'll tell you right now, it's not real. But then you'll call my picture. And it's just a back and forth type of thing, because certain groups we talk to, I commend them, they commend me. Then there's certain groups out there who just don't like us. And, that's tough tits. Sorry, tough tits. I mean, I have to say it. You're just going to have to accept me. I plan on being around many years. This radio show is definitely a foundation to start growing with people's interest. It's growing all the time. It's getting our word out there, and that's the main thing. If you're listening to us on YouTube, you can check us out at www.paranormalghostsociety.org. Our site's been around for many years. I've been doing this for many years. We provide every type of service possible. We're very big in the paranormal community. We don't make money at what we do. I have my own opinions, just like everybody else does. And I think that, some investigations that we do should be left for groups like ours to handle. Because it's just, my theory is, leave it to the pros. You're an amateur group and you don't know what you're doing. Don't go to hell. That's the whole thing. Let me go to hell for you. And you can enjoy the pictures all the same, but don't risk yourself. We're not out to see other people get hurt. We're just there to put the information so you can learn a little bit of history, see a little bit of evidence. That's all. that's all merely it boils down to. So, I'd like to close the radio show. Also, I did add on my site, on the front page, a Lord Rick Fact versus Myth. Because I added that a couple days ago because I felt like too many people spread a lot of rumors. It's like the Gestapo, people go around, Paris Hilton, they make up all these things. Paris Hilton said this, it's the same thing with me. People they make up rumors, Rick smokes crack. It's like, I'm going to clarify those things. So that way, every time you read something that comes from somebody, you'll go to that page. And chances are I've already posted the myth and the fact. Basically, or actually, I not necessarily so much the myth, just telling you this is how it is. So, and if you choose to believe it, you choose to believe it. But these people acting like they're the press and Gestapo and everything else going around and spreading these rumors, you're treating me like I'm a celebrity. Like, as soon as I come out of my house, you're surrounding me with cameras, and then you're going around writing for the Sun or the Onion or something, some fake article. And, I am what I am. I am a father. I'm a paranormal investigator. I provide some damn good services across the paranormal community. I run my own bulletin board system, thanks to Mike Digital's help. I also, I'm on YouTube, thanks to Mike Digital, and he's done a lot to help this group. And I'll tell you what, I would choose him to be in if I get a TV show, I'd rather choose him than choose anybody from these other groups, because these other groups they just don't give a shit about what we do. But I bet you if we were on TV every week, I bet you then people would come running. Would we face scrutiny then? No. People would ask us. That's the way human nature works. And that's what's happening around TAPS. A lot of people they're like, well, they're on TV, so we have to like them. Well, just because I see them on TV doesn't mean I have to like. I have to be a fan. I don't have to be a fan. My choice. And I think that's why I was brought on the TV show, because those people, in general, most of them are TAPS friendly. They're fans. They have chapters. Whatever the case is, they think that they're getting me back because they don't like my personal opinion. But the truth is, I received from a source, I will not mention the source, that there was something in the show that was faked to gain guests and ratings. I don't like it. It's fishy. And that just proves right there, just because you're professional doesn't mean you're pulling shit on somebody. And excuse my French, but there ain't nothing illegal about the word shit. Look it up in the dictionary. It's listed in my son's dictionary at school, the word shit. So deal with it. Okay? Because that's what it is. It's bullshit. Okay? These groups going out there, they're all acting professional. Well, I get signed papers. Yeah, but you're the one frauding the public. Not Lord Rick, who's on his deathbed because he went out to a forest looking for Bigfoot, and you consider that bad because it's state property. I got news for you. Forest burned down. And you know what? You don't go in the forest looking for Bigfoot, and that forest burns down, you're going to kick yourself in the ass. Because you're not going to get permission from certain groups. Those type of groups are the ones doing the lying. They don't want you in those woods. They don't want you to see what's hiding in those woods. There's aliens, there's UFOs above the trees. They don't want you near Roswell because there's evidence linking back to this UFO that crashed there. Wake up, people. Smell the coffee. Get out of your fantasy world. That's my theory. How's that for a radio show? Over and out. This is Lord Rick of the Paranormal and Ghost Society. www.paranormalghostsociety.org. Looking forward to a hell of a month, and have a very Merry Christmas if we don't do another show. But we probably will, and you will hear from me in about a week when we get back from the Brooksville area as we investigate haunts in old Florida and the Gulf Coast. Have a good day.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams into modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.